Hello everyone and welcome back. Today's video I want to talk about Gary Sweet. Gary Sweet's name has appeared in my video comments since the start of the championship season, and I've been debating with a lot of people about Gary. There's been a lot of talk about how he should leave his position as the CEO of Luton Town Football Club. Some say he should just focus on the stadium. I thought I should give my thoughts on him and some of the football decisions that have been made over the last 18 months, and also talk about the future of Luton, what needs to happen in terms of upstairs, in the boardroom, should we hire someone new, and so on. So that's what I want to talk about in today's video, but I do want to make it clear, I'm not slagging anyone off here. I'm just highlighting a few things which I think as a football club we've done incorrectly, but I am going to start off by praising. I do want to praise the board. The board and Gary Sweet deserve a lot of praise. From non-league to Premier League, I know people are sick and tired of hearing that, but what we have achieved is unbelievable. And I do think the football decisions we've made over the last 18 months are going to undo some of that fantastic piece of history. But I still think the board and Gary Sweet deserve credit on some of the football decisions they made during our rise up the Football League. Also, getting a stadium approved. We've been trying to do this for over 75 years. I don't care how big the stadium's going to be. We need a new stadium in order for the football club to grow and progress to the next level. Without a new stadium, we can't do that. So we need this new stadium. So I don't care how big it is, we just need one. So we need to stop bringing up the stadium size like it's an excuse on not doing well. Just focus about, we need a new stadium regardless of what size it is. We're building more seats because we've got the money to do it, and it does make sense in terms of the long-term future if Luton are going to be competing in the top 2 tiers of English football. Yes, right now on the pitch we look like we are going to the 3rd division of English football, but you would like to think in 10 years time when the stadium is eventually built we won't be in the 3rd division of English football. But I know because of what we're seeing on the pitch, everyone, including me, has been a bit negative about Luton Town Football Club. So which football decisions have we made incorrectly over the last 18 months? The January transfer window in the Premier League, I think that was a mistake. We should have brought in more players. I felt we were in a fantastic position in the Premier League to stay up, but because we only brought in Hashi, yes, we went on to have an injury crisis. Yes, you can't predict that, but I felt that was a great opportunity to bring players through the door, and we didn't do it. And it was unlike us because we always bring in players in a January transfer window, and we were unable to do it for some weird reason. Now, the summer transfer window was not good enough. Whatever your thoughts are about spending money, I don't care about the money. I care about bringing players through the door. If we sign 10 players for £10 million, fantastic. If we only bring in 5 players for £10 million, I don't care. I just want to see players through the door. And I don't think we went into the season prepared. I think we had too many injuries and we didn't solve those problems going into the championship season, and we started off really poorly. And you can blame that on Rob Edwards for not tactically adapting to the situation, but we should have brought in more players. We were very late with our recruitment and we should have been a lot more proactive. We made a lot of mistakes. Now the board have come out and said agents had an impact and so on in transfer negotiations. I don't think that's a good enough excuse in my opinion, but that's what they're coming out and saying. So that was the second football mistake I think we made. The third one was, in my opinion, allowing Rob Edwards more time as the Luton Town manager. In my opinion, November was the perfect time to sack Rob Edwards after the 5-1 defeat against Middlesbrough. I think if we hired a new manager then, we wouldn't be seeing what we're currently seeing now. Matt Bloomfield is struggling. He's struggling to get results. You can blame that on him. That's up to you. I don't. I just think there's so much damage at this football club in terms of a losing mentality. He's finding it very difficult to get confidence out of these group of players. Now, some might say the board, Gary Sweet, the recruitment team hired the wrong guy. That's up to you. I don't think they have. I just think the timing was wrong. I think we should have hired a new manager a lot sooner. Matt Bloomfield, I think, is the right Luton Town manager, but just the wrong time. That's just how I see it. Some might say we've made more football decisions incorrectly. Some might say we've made far less. This is just how I'm viewing it. But as the CEO of Luton Town Football Club, Gary Sweet gets a lot of fingers pointed at him because he's the one that comes out and communicates. He's at the press conferences when a new manager gets announced and about the future of the football club. He's very hands-on in a lot of departments, and some might say because he's got too many fingers in too many pies, that's the reason why Luton Town on the football pitch have gone backwards. I do think the players need to hold themselves accountable, especially for this season, as they are proven championship players. Before a ball was kicked, this squad was more than capable of being a bottom half championship team at least. So the fact that they're in the bottom three says a lot more to me about these group of players. I'm telling you that now. Some of these players have changed my opinion of them from the start of the season. But as I was saying, Gary Sweet, lots of people point the finger at him because he's involved in all of the football decisions. In terms of recruitment, he's not the only one involved. He does the negotiating, but the recruitment team and the manager, they pick out the players for Gary Sweet to negotiate with. So the fact that we weren't able to bring more players in the January transfer window of the Premier League season and the summer, I think he does play a factor in that, and he is at fault for that. In terms of sacking a manager, now Gary isn't the only one responsible for that. From my understanding, it's the board as a collective. Gary Sweet isn't the one that goes, we're not sacking Rob Edwards because I like him. As a collective, the board, the chairman, everyone else that's in the boardroom at Luton Town Football Club, they all have to agree or have a majority decision on sacking a manager, and they are all responsible in keeping Rob Edwards for a lot longer. A decision needed to be made a lot sooner as a collective to get rid of Rob Edwards, but they didn't make that decision. They were too loyal. From the outside looking in, a lot of people might praise us for that, but from the inside, it definitely, in my opinion, wasn't the correct decision. Now, some people might also say the January transfer window, which we've just had, was not good enough. In my opinion, when you're a side in the bottom three of the championship, you've already made it very tough to sign top quality players because you're in a poor position. And if you are a top quality player, do you want to join a side that's in the bottom three of the championship? I don't think you do. But I do think we were proactive in the January transfer window. But if only we were proactive in the summer, we wouldn't have had to have done the business which we did in January. Now, in terms of recruitment, we have made improvements. We hired Yusuf, who is first team recruitment manager at Luton Town, but we only hired him after the summer transfer window. So his involvement at Luton Town only came from this previous January transfer window, and also involved in the hiring of Matt Bloomfield. So at least we've made improvements in the recruitment team, but in terms of football operational aspect of the football club, we haven't hired anyone new in that department. And some say that Gary Sweet should lose his job over the football decisions he's been involved with over the last 18 months. Now, I disagree that he should lose his job. I think he's got a lot of credit in the bank. I do think Gary Sweet deserves the opportunity at undoing the mistakes the football club have made, which he was involved with, and trying to correct them for the future. Now, that is of course going to take time, and we do look like as a football club we are going to Division 3 League 1 at the end of the season. Now, there has been some debate about the board and Gary Sweet having too much attention on the stadium. I disagree with that, because Luton, we have won 2 promotions with the stadium conversations in the background, with the planning applications and so on. We've had this going on in the background for years, and it's not impacted on the pitch until recently. For me, it does come across as a poor reason on why we're not doing well on the pitch. We've been doing well on the pitch for so long with stadium noise in the background. Only because we're doing bad, it doesn't mean the stadium's having an impact on it. Don't get me wrong, of course, Gary's involved in all aspects of the football club, and he might have spent a little bit more attention towards the stadium because it is getting closer. But I don't believe that is the main reason why we're failing this season. And I also want to say as well, as a fan base, we do need to be a little bit careful, because I do think we are going to cause a divide when we say comments like Gary's making it all about himself, he wants the spotlight. I don't think comments like that are going to help. Now, I know that's cheap coming from me, someone who has been quite negative this season. Yes, I have been negative, but I do think comments like that kind of cross the line a little bit, in my opinion. You might say that's quite harsh from me. I just think we're making up narratives by saying that. Gary Sweet is a Luton fan. He just wants what's best for the football club. The club is very well looked after, and you can praise the board and him for making it so well looked after. But I do understand the argument about, we've got so much money now, why can't we be a little bit ambitious and spend it? But I don't think it helps saying comments like Gary's trying to make it all about him. So in terms of the future, what needs to happen? Should we bring in a director of football? Now, my opinion on this has completely changed from the start of the season. I was very much against this. I didn't think it would work very well at Luton Town at all, really. But if we do get relegated to League One, I do think we should bring someone in the football operational aspect. Someone who's got proven experience at taking a football club or being involved with a football club that's been in the Premier League and being an established Premier League club. I don't want to bring in some up and coming, I don't know, technical director. I want to bring in someone that's got proven experience, that's got very good football knowledge of what it means to become an established Premier League team, because that, of course, will be the future objective of this football club. We know how to become a championship team, so if we were to get relegated to League One, we don't need to bring in a director of football to get us back to the championship. We already know as a football club how to get there and become an established championship side. So I don't want to bring in someone for the sake of bringing in someone. I want to bring in someone that's been there, done it, and has experience. Now, that might be quite a challenge to do. Well, otherwise, what is the point? I don't see any reason on why to bring in someone else in. You're going to be paying someone money to do a job which I think the current people at the football club can do. So I think that's me covering everything to do with Gary Sweet and all the football decisions that have been made over the last 18 months. I do believe they've got enough credit. It isn't down to Gary Sweet. Not every football decision is down to him. There is loads of other people involved who deserve the blame. But let's be honest, if the players did their job this season, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So look, it's down to the players to keep us up now in the championship. I don't see them doing it, but it's still down to them with, 13, 12 games remaining of this season. And like I said, I am open for Luton to bring someone to the football club, but only if they've been there and done it. I don't want to bring any up-and-coming person to the football club. I do think we can do with some help, but it has to be the right person. But the club's in safe hands, and we need to be careful, because we don't want to be saying, yes, let's get new owners in, let's get a new board in, and so on. I don't think that's right, because having new owners won't guarantee certain things. And you've seen some football clubs out there, they're not run correctly. Big clubs, Sheffield Wednesday, for example, their owner is horrific, by the way. Horrible man. And that football club won't ever be in the Premier League under him. I can't see it. I really can't. So we've got to be careful what we wish for. I know people don't want to hear that, but I do think we've got to be a bit careful. But those are my thoughts. Hopefully I was respectful and honest and real with everything I said. I know people are not going to agree with everything I've said in this video, but those are my thoughts on the situation over the last 18 months. Drop a like, comment, and let me know what you think down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you would like to become a member of my channel, the link is in the description below. And I'll see you guys in my match preview tomorrow for the game against Watford. I'll see you guys then.